would like to introduce you to our speaker today. This is Zach Garcia, and Zach is the Indiana Outreach Director at Faith in Place. And Faith in Place is an organization that's dedicated to empowering people of diverse faiths to lead efforts in environmental and racial justice. One of the ways they do that is through creation of green teams at local congregations. And I think several of the folks that are going to be on the call are part of green teams at your congregation. But that's just one of the many things that they do. And I think Zach is a forester by trade, correct? Like at
Yes.
one point in life,
Yep.
yes.
Yes.
So lots of great experience and knowledge about the environment and caring well for it. So I'm super excited to hear Zach today, to hear the things that he has to tell us and share with us. So, Zach, take it away, sir.
Thanks so much, Shelly and Shani. Hi everyone. Good morning. It is hot outside. Shelly and I were just talking about that. It is like sweltering hot. I hope everyone is staying cool. Last week our AC went out for like a day and a half, and it was just it was miserable. So I hope everyone is staying cool. And everyone's doing well. And yes, I've been looking at the chat and I see Elizabeth is here, Beth is here, Amanda, or Greg and Amanda. So hi everyone. Super excited to be with you here um today. So like Shelly said, my name is Zach Garcia. I serve as the Indiana Outreach Director for Faith in Place. And today, I want to invite you into a conversation that's both urgent and timeless, a conversation about how our faith traditions, our communities, and our collective spirit can respond to the environmental crises, plural. I want to make that plural we face with courage, clarity, and conviction. This is absolutely sacred work, and it's community work, and it is justice work. All right, so will it go to the next slide? Oh, okay, good, cool. I like how it all pops up like that. I've never noticed that. Um, so Faith in Place, who are we? Faith in Place was founded in 1999 as a response to a simple but powerful idea. People of faith have a vital role to play in protecting our planet, our communities, us as individuals. We are a multi-faith environmental justice organization working in Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin. Now, our approach is grounded in the stewardship traditions of many religions. So, from Christian to Muslim, Jewish to Baha'i, Unitarian Universalist to indigenous pathways, spiritualities, life pathways. Our work centers on three pillars. So, education, connection, and advocacy. And these are the tools we use to move communities from awareness to action. And I just want to give a shout out to my team because they are amazing, and I'm sure many of you have met them. But here in Indiana, we have our team is I'm just so proud of them. So Grace Von Lehman, she covers Central Indiana, and Jaleesa Moldine leads outreach in Northern Indiana. And hey, we're here to support you, connect you to resources, and walk with you as you build environmental ministries and programs within your congregations or outside your congregations and in your communities. Okay, so let's do this again. Let's see how it pops up. Oh, cool. Oh my gosh. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what I did in this presentation for it to do those like really cool pop-ups. I'm impressed with myself. Um, so 2023 was the hottest year on record. That's not just a number. Y'all, that is a wake-up call. And those most affected by environmental harm, historically underrepresented um, communities of color, indigenous peoples, children, the elderly are the ones with the fewest resources to adapt. And we're living in a time of climate emergency and spiritual reckoning. Um, Dr. Mary Evelyn Tucker was my mentor in graduate school and my advisor, my mentor. I like to say that I'm one of her many disciples. She's an incredible theorist and climate activist. She's incredible, and I love this quote. Um, Dr. Tucker had said, "We must feel the fire, not to be consumed by it, but to be refined." So I want that to sink in because this moment is a crucible, and what emerges from it depends on our choices now. All right, so let me. So cool. So, excuse me, our faith traditions are not silent on matters of the earth. We know that. They're filled with creation stories that speak ecological truths all over. The Quran tells of humanity as shepherds of the earth. The Torah speaks of Sabbath, rest for the land. The Bible reminds us that we are made from the very dust of the ground. And indigenous cosmologies, like many oral traditions, recognize a web of kinship with all beings. And now, Mary Evelyn, Dr. Tucker, she was a disciple of Thomas Berry. And Thomas Berry, if you're not familiar with any of his works, I suggest please check it out. He was way ahead of his time, and yeah, he's just incredible academic. And this is my favorite quote. I love this quote. As Barry said, the universe is not a collection of objects, but a communion of subjects. And this worldview changes how we relate to the planet, not as something to dominate, but as something to be in relationship with, to be in communion with. And it's that simple notion that it's not connecting people with nature or connecting nature with people. It's connecting people and nature. It's a two-way reciprocal street. Here we go. All right. So what does this look like in practice? Because again, my background, I'm a forester, but with forestry, I was also doing religion and ecology and how forestry and religion, how those both mesh together. Um, and in graduate school, we heard of, organizations and congregations, houses of worship doing this type of work. Um, but a lot of it is academic, religious ecology, spiritual ecologies, whatever you want to call it. So what does this work look like? Many of you have seen it in your own congregations and communities, but at Faith in Place, what are we doing? So first one is green teams. So these are groups within congregations or community organizations that are committed to environmental and social justice. And I'm gonna come back with an example of a green team in just one in a slide coming up. Networking. Um, I like calling us Green Team or Faith in Place connectors. I'm not a big fan of the word coach, but we're connectors. So we connect communities across the state and region for support, idea sharing, and mutual aid. And I want to give a quick example. So 2 days ago, um, I met with one of my green teams in Evansville. They're going through an energy audit. And that energy audit was made possible by Center for Congregations. So shout out to CFC for leading that front, but it's that type of connection of I get this information from Center for Congregations, and it falls right in alignment with what we're doing at Faith in Place. And to give my green teams this information, I mean, the green team leader was almost in tears when the consultant came to do the energy audit, and she was like, Zach, we've been trying to do this for 2 years and we didn't know where to go with this. And it was that simple knowing that Center for Congregations had this program, and I was just able to tell someone about it. So that's the type of networking, the type of connecting we do at Faith in Place. We want to make sure that the resources that are, local, state, and federal, they get to congregations in Indiana. Education. So through webinars, toolkits, and trainings, we equip communities and congregations to understand and act. So what do you mean by energy assessment? Yeah, so great question, Elizabeth. So it's an energy audit. And what it entails, it's a level 2 energy audit, and it entails a consultant. Well, first, from the House of Worship's end, you have to submit, your I think like 12 months of utilities. And once you submit that, the consultant reviews all of that, and then he comes to your congregation for about an hour, 2 hours, and he goes through. I mean, 2 days ago, I did this with him and the green team. He goes through your whole house of worship, parsonage, any rec centers that are nearby, and he gives you like a 30 or 40 page review of this is the low cost options you can do. Here are the no cost opportunities, and here are the high cost opportunities. And what we're trying to do as a team right now is that Center for Congregations gets you set up with the energy audit, um, Faith in Place. We can help you then implement what it has in that report. So, okay, low cost, no cost. If you need help doing that, we might have the tools to equip you with that at Faith in Place, or we can find you answers to your questions regarding how to move, how to get it more energy, how to be more sustainable from that report. I hope that answered your question. Um, and then advocacy. So we help communities speak truth to power and push for policies that protect people and planet. Every year we do a renewable energy day at the state capitol in Indianapolis. You don't have to be with a green team. You can just show up that day and you can be there with us. I think we had about 200 people last year. And I will tell you, I am hoping that we get as many people as possible at that state house so that our senators and representatives hear us and see that houses of worship, people of various faiths and spiritualities, we are a movement, and we're a movement in Indiana, and our voices, we can change things that help and benefit all citizens. All right, so here we go. So let me just go into the green team model, and I want to be very upfront that we are thinking about changing the green team model. Not sure what it's going to look like this fall, but we're having strategic conversations of what could this green team model take more. I'm sure everyone is familiar with Wabash Pastoral Leadership Program, which is amazing. Shout out to Libby and Joy because they are the most wonderful people on this earth. Um, and we're now looking at a cohort model when it comes to green team, how we structure our green teams, and with the support of the Lilly Endowment, we're going to be doing a cohort at the end of July with a number of houses of worship in Indiana to start looking at what does this green team model look like when it's not just one house of worship, but it's many houses of worship coming together, sharing ideas, sharing knowledge. So, excuse me. So green teams, they're the heartbeat of our work right now. These teams are grassroots, spirit-led, self-organized, and we offer ongoing support to help them thrive. All it takes is three or more people in a congregation who feel called to do this work. You set the agenda, and we provide faith in place. We provide tools, trainings, and partnership. The goal is to build local power rooted in faith. And I want to share um, a story about one of my green teams. Oh, that goes that way and this goes this way. Oh, how cool. There we go. So Renew Church. They are on the west side of Evansville, Indiana. Oh, I didn't mention that. I'm in Evansville, Indiana, everyone. If anyone's in Evansville, shout out. And if you're in Evansville, reach out to me. Let's go get coffee. Let's chat. I want to know about you. Yeah, let's get coffee. So Renew Church on the west side of Evansville. They recently became a green team and they received an IRA tree grant from Faith in Place, so they're going to be planting trees in their community. And what I think is so awesome about Renew Church is that they have their church, but the community that they are in is one of the hardest hit communities, most vulnerable communities in Evansville. And what they decided is to do something hyper local, and they have another nonprofit, another arm of their church, and it's called Love Lamasco. And Love Lamasco is a neighborhood revitalization program through the church. And what's so beautiful is that when they got the tree grant, um, the associate pastor, Kelly Ward, who is phenomenal, she told me, she was like, okay, I'm going to get a green team ready. And I got there, and I will tell you, there was like 18 people in that room. And she was like, here are our community folks from Lamasco, and here are our church folks. And I mean, like everyone knew each other because they've had this revitalization, this Lamasco revitalization program going for like 5 or 6 years. So it was just so neat to see how this congregation went outside of its walls, and it's truly building community amongst church members, amongst neighbors. And the work that they're doing isn't just planting trees, but I mean, it's workforce development. They have a board of community members that sit on Love Lamasco, and it's a beautiful partnership. And I want to highlight them because one of the things that I hear often from houses of worship is how do we get outside of our community walls? And Renew Church is a great example. And if anyone wants to be connected with them, again, this is where I think like Faith in Place we shine is that we connect folks. So if anyone's interested in getting connected with Renew and having a convo with them, I would be thrilled to connect you with them because their model right now, it's working, hyper local, and it's just it's so inspiring. So our green tea model is powerful. But many, and I was saying this earlier, but many green teams, that is a movement. So across the state, we're building networks of support that transcend denominations and spiritualities. We are building power. We host seasonal roundtables, excuse me, seasonal roundtables and summits. We collaborate on grants and campaigns. When one group succeeds, we all rise together. So our model is not about competition, it's about collective power built from the ground up, rooted in community and faith. And I have this slide in here because I know we might be changing things, and I wanted to stress that as we reimagine what green teams look like, or maybe like a green team network in, Southwest Indiana has a green team network, Southeast Indiana has a green team network, Central, Northwest, and Northeast. What do those networks look like, and how can we have quarterly meetings in each of these regions that bring us all together, and collaborate on grants together, events, campaigns. And I'm also thinking about, and this is kind of a secret, but I'm terrible with secrets. Um, but we were also thinking, I shouldn't say me, we were thinking about breaking things up in legislative districts so that if there's a green team region in Indiana, it's outlined um, by House and Senate districts so that the advocacy power that we're building in that region is for specific House and Senate districts. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense because I think that could be so powerful. Y'all, I'm a visionary, so like this is what I really like. I go crazy for like thinking about this strategic stuff. And so I already kind of mentioned my secret, but whatever. So spiritual formation must lead to civic transformation, and houses of worship are not just spiritual sanctuaries, they're powerful civic institutions. When we help congregations and communities move from internal reflection to external advocacy, that's where real change happens. They become what one of my mentors called networks of networks of networks. And that's how we build powerful movements. So, I don't know if I did this intentionally or it was subconscious. I'm just now seeing what I did here. So remember I had mentioned Dr. Mary Evelyn Tucker and then Thomas Berry, and then we have Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. So Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, he was kind of the godfather of early spiritual ecology, religion, and ecology. Thomas Berry was a disciple of Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, and then Mary Evelyn Tucker was a disciple of Thomas Berry. I see what I did there. But I want to mention this quote from Teilhard de Chardin. The future belongs to those who give the next generation reason for hope. And in this time of climate crisis, gosh darn, we need a lot of hope right now. And that's what advocacy does. It gives people a reason to believe change is possible. And I know being in a state as Indiana, it seems like change is so difficult, but I am telling you, I've seen change. We've all seen some wins in Indiana, and we can do this. We can do this together, especially houses of worship. Y'all are powerful. And the landfill is running out of space. Yes, Elizabeth, it is running out of space. And you know what? Mary Evelyn Tucker mentioned something to me one time. I'm sorry, I'm going off track a little bit, but um, the landfill is running out of space. And you know what that reminded me of? Mary Evelyn told me one time, she said, what's going to happen when we start mining other planets? Or we start sending trash to other planets. It's not just the earth, the ecology of the earth that is being destroyed, but we are effectively destroying our cosmology, our space ecology, and that was terrifying. God has a plan. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Um, so let me jump to the next slide. So when talking about advocacy, I wanted to throw this slide in here because this is a question I get all the time. And even before I was at Faith in Place, I was an executive director of a nature center. And I never really understood the 501c3 guidelines for advocacy. And it always made me nervous of like what I can and can't say. And I get this from a lot of houses of worship of like, what, like when I say advocacy, they're like, oh my gosh, um, like, what can I do and not do? Because I don't want to jeopardize the 501c3 status. So let's just talk really quickly about what you can and cannot do under nonprofit status, because this really is important. So many congregations fear advocacy because they don't want to get political, but advocacy and politics are not the same. You can educate, encourage, or you can educate and encourage civic engagement, host nonpartisan forums, and urge people to vote. So what you can do are those items. What you cannot do is endorse candidates or donate to campaigns. But let me be clear, your voice and your congregation's voice matters in shaping policy. It absolutely truly does. So getting connected. We don't just tell you to get involved. We walk with you every step of the way. Faith in Place offers trainings on how bills become law. Then we help you localize those issues, make them personal, and activate your community. Whether it's solar incentives, water justice, or clean energy, we help you take that sacred passion and turn it into real world impact. And why this work matters now. Let me just return to the why. This work matters because the stakes are so high. Environmental harm is accelerating, and our children and their children will inherit what we leave behind. But we are not powerless, we are not alone, and our faith calls us not to despair, but to act. There's a line I love. The opposite of hope is not despair, it's apathy. This is a call to hope through action. Yeah, Beth, absolutely. Not only our children, but our grandchildren and all generations. Yes, absolutely. So, for those of you here, this is a sacred invitation. You are not alone. Your congregation is not alone. Whether you're a green team of three, a solo leader in your congregation, or someone just beginning to ask the questions, you are a part of something larger. Together, we are building a future that is just, renewable, and whole. And you know what? With that, I'm going to change this presentation because there's another quote that I want to share, and it's on my phone. And I'm going to quickly look for it. I know I have it favorited because it's a quote that I love. And Mary Evelyn Tucker wrote it in her book Journey of the Universe with her husband, Dr. John Grimm. And this quote saved my life. Um, I it's too long to put in the chat, but let me read it. With our empirical observations expanded by modern science, we are now realizing that our universe is a single immense energy event that began as a tiny speck that has unfolded over time to become galaxies and stars, palms and pelicans, the music of Bach, and each of us alive today. The great discovery of contemporary science is that the universe is not simply a place, but a story in which we are immersed, to which we belong, and out of which we arose. This story has the power to awaken us more deeply to see who we are. For just as the Milky Way is the universe in the form of a galaxy, and an orchid is the universe in the form of a flower, we are the universe in the form of a human. And every time we are drawn to look up into the night sky and reflect on the awesome beauty of the universe, we are actually the universe reflecting on itself. And this changes everything. I love that quote. And truly, that quote saved me. I was having a spiritual reckoning at that time. And when I read that, it brought me to tears because it really showed me that there's something much larger, and we are all a part of it. So, what now? Here's how to connect with us. You can start or join a green team, sign up for our newsletter, attend an upcoming training, or just schedule a one-on-one with one of our staff. Again, I'm in Evansville, but I'll meet you anywhere. And then Jaleesa right here, she's in Northern Indiana. She's in Gary. And then Grace, she's in Central Indiana. She's based in Indianapolis. Um, we'd love to meet all of you that are here today. Reach out. I'd love to talk with all of you and just meet with you, and learn your story. So thank you all for being here today, and thank you for showing up for the planet, for your communities, and for your faith. And big shout out to Shani and Shelly, and in general Center for Congregations. You guys are wonderful, and I'm so happy that Faith in Place has a bigger presence now in Indiana, because I think we can all work together and do so much good. So thank you all so much. This was really energizing for me, and I loved it. Does anyone have any questions, or any comments? Elizabeth, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Yes. Um, can I please? Oh, yes. Um, Let me find that slide. Oh, was it the three pillars, Shani? The education, connection, and advocacy?
I'm not actually sure. I have that one written down. It was something you had mentioned
Oh,
at the beginning,
oh my gosh.
and I just didn't write it down fast enough.
Let me go back to let me see if this will spark. Sorry, everyone. This is probably giving you a headache right now. Um, Education. Oh, was it courage? What did I say? Courage, clarity, and conviction. Was that it? I,
Yes, thank you.
okay, I like alliteration, so I'm always something else that I love is and this is like my personal and professional mission, is making sure that science, spirit, and story are all shared. I love that. Science, spirit, and story. Um, can you give us some concrete first steps to establishing a green team within our congregation? Hey, Amanda, yes. So, of here, let me go back to that slide. Okay, it was cool when all this stuff popped up, but now that I'm going through it, it's probably giving everyone a headache. Um, and yes, Beth, Carol has been so wonderful, and we've met like 3 or 4 times at a bunch of events, and I'm so happy you all are a green team now. And I am so ready to go over there and meet you all. And maybe Shelly, you can join us when I go over to meet the green team. I would love to see you again. And Shani, if you have some time, that'd be a lot of fun. Um, so, Amanda, I'm going back to your question. Can you give us some concrete first steps to establishing a green team within our congregation? Um, so the first thing that I usually suggest to people is on Sunday or whenever you have worship, I would get up in front of the congregation and I would ask people, hey, there's an opportunity to create an environmental team for our church. Um, and who's interested? And I know that's like actually like really simple and it's like, okay, like Zach, duh. But when people have done that in the past, oh my gosh, Amanda, you will be so surprised at who ends up standing up and they're like, hey, I'm a master gardener, or hey, I have a biology major and I love this type of stuff. And I think that's the first step is like finding who your people are within the congregation. Um, and of course, I would also the second thing I would say is, and Amanda, I'm sorry, I wasn't, maybe you said it earlier. I wasn't sure if you're clergy or if you're a lay person, you're a leader in the church. That's what I want to say. You're a leader in the church. Um, and I would say the head clergy person, I would say get their blessing. Again, that might seem like, okay, Zach, duh, like of course, but you would be so surprised at how many green teams form and they don't tell the pastor, the reverend, or whoever. And then when it comes down to like an energy audit, or it comes down to like, let's do this garden, like let's talk to the board, and it ends up getting shut down because clergy was not a part of initial conversations. Does that help, Amanda? We have new members because we have a green team. Oh my gosh, Beth, I am so happy to hear that. And I know, and yeah, Beth, you, Carol, and I want us to talk because I wonder if with like Hoosier Action, with Central Christian Church, if you guys are powerful in Southeastern Indiana, and I wonder if we can start looking at like more of a regional green team for all of you. I know that's might be a big step, but I wonder if we had like quarterly meetings that Faith in Place we could help set up. Um, and we have quarterly meetings to get everyone in one room and I think in time invite our legislators to those meetings, let them know that hey, there are faith communities and members that are active and they are your constituents. Um, I'm having so much fun with this chat. I never thought I would have like this is very energizing. I never thought I'd get so much energy and so much like, oh my gosh, we partner with UMC, UCC and our Catholic partners. We attend our legislators town meeting. Oh my gosh, you guys are already ahead of it. So yeah, Beth, put a little bird in Carol's ear because I know and Carol and I think I think we emailed yesterday or the day before. But yeah, I'm ready when you guys are, and let's create you guys are already creating a movement, and I want to make sure that whatever tools we have and resources we have at Faith in Place, how can we help your movement and build more power in southeastern Indiana? We can do it. I think just with my energy and stuff, I think you can all maybe notice I've been told no a lot in my early life, and I was like, no, no, don't tell me no. I'm gonna do it.
Well, do you have other questions for Zach? Oh, good, there's one.
Yes, yeah. Hey, Carrie. What would you recommend to do after we get a green team together, after we find our people? Yes, great question. And so a few things, Carrie. I would so the first thing, and I could provide these resources. If you send me an email, I can get you these resources. So after you find your people, the first thing I would do is create kind of like a strategy screen of like, okay, now that you have your group, what roles are people taking on? Is it a co-chair? Is it, or a chair, co-chair model? Do you all have a mission? Do you want to focus the first 2 years on like what you're doing in the church internally, and then maybe the next 2 years, or moving down the line, you're looking at spreading out to the community. So creating some sort of like strategic plan in those first meetings and get everyone on the same page. Because that's another thing I've noticed with green teams. You'll have a few people working on a garden and then a few people working on something else. And then the garden goes to the wayside, or the energy stuff goes by the wayside, and then other people have to pick it up, and then they get drained out. And it's so I would say get together, figure out what your mission is, what your messaging is to the congregation. So that's the first thing. The second thing, once you all have your roles and your mission, I would say do survey the congregation. I would survey the congregation, and we have templates. I'm actually working on redoing the template because it looks it's like an Excel file. And I'm like, y'all, we need to present something a little bit cleaner to houses of worship. But doing a survey, for maybe 1 month, those 4 Sundays or 5 Sundays, or whenever, Canva for the win. Yes, Canva for the win. Um, I would, um, I would survey the congregation and see what they think are issues that are happening internally and externally. And that will give your green team a great strategy screen to show, oh my gosh, like, people want more recycling, or, having, I'm trying to think of what else, having a garden or native plants on the church lawn or something. So it's things like that that will really open the green team's eyes of like, oh my gosh, okay, this is what people want in the congregation. And then from there you can start working that into your plan of like, okay, what are the low-hanging fruit, what's no cost, low cost, and what are the high-hanging fruits that we can schedule out 3, 5, 8 years. Um, I would say the one thing that you can do once you get that green team ready, I would say, is apply for the energy audit through Center for Congregations. Apply for it. And I know people have been going through us, and then we contact the consultant. So you can email me. I'm sure you can email Shelly as well, and she'll get your information to the consultant as well. But that energy audit, the minute you do that, the consultant's going to give you a report of what can be done easily, what can be done low cost, no cost, and what are the bigger projects you could focus on in the next 5 to 10 years. And that report, that gives you a pathway, that gives you a journey for the green team over the next like 8 years. And that keeps the momentum going, that keeps people moving. At our outdoor service, we passed out a list of green ideas and asked them to list 3 priorities. Then we followed up with them on their list. Communication with the congregation is so important. Amen, Beth. Yes. I'm trying to think of another, one really clever example that I heard of is in Chicago, on the south side, there was a congregation, and they were saying they're trying to they were trying to reduce their need um to like buy communion from a wholesaler. So what they ended up doing was every month or every Sunday, there was a list. And each person would break or would make the bread. And then of course they would use like gloves and stuff and rip it up that morning. And then um so that was also, I just thought that was such a clever idea. And also that like that forms community so much. My email is carrieman3@gmail and one of the resources that I go to Gmail. Carrie, so what I'm gonna do, and Carrie, where are you located? Could you give me a shout out? Greenwood, Indiana. Oh, awesome. Greenwood. Um, Greenwood. Why does that sound familiar? I feel like I was just in Greenwood. Um, oh, I know where Greenwood is. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, awesome. Yeah, you're like right over there. Cool. Oh, wonderful. Church of Christ, Indianapolis is our church. It's in Indy. Oh, wonderful. Oh, cool. Well, Carrie, I'm so excited to get in touch with you. Beth, I'm going to be meeting you soon. And then who else was on here? Elizabeth, I would love to meet up. Yeah, I love Canva. Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful. And then Amanda was in here too. I like your style of presenting your joy and your calm voice. Oh, thank you so much, Elizabeth. I'm gonna tell my son that because he would absolutely disagree with you. My son would be like, no, you do not have a calm or joyful voice. Oh my. I'm cracking myself up over here. Um, Shelly, this was so much fun. Can I do this like every single week? If you need someone, I will do this every single week.
Sure. I love kids are the worst critic. Elizabeth, you're so
Yeah,
right.
right?
It's their job. Well, does anyone have any other questions for Zach? These are great questions, by the way. Appreciate the process questions. Well, we're going to give you some time to drop something in there if you want to. But while we're giving you time to think, one of the things that the Center for Congregation does is something called resource grants, and they're up to $25,000. And they can go for things like Zach was talking about, working with organizations like Colby May has an organization, and I think it's changed its name. Do you know what his organization's name is, Zach?
2 days ago, he said energy for purpose. I don't know if
Yes.
is it?
That's
Okay.
that's it. Yeah. And it used to be lit or something. I don't know.
Oh,
Energy
interesting.
for Purpose. And so that's Colby's organization. So if you want to do an energy audit, get a hold of Colby and talk about what all needs to be involved. And then our part would be if you decide to do the energy audit, you can apply for one of our grants because it would pay for half of the cost for that. If you want to bring in speakers, if you want to do education around environmental care, creation care, one of our grants might help pay for some of that stuff. So if you have projects in mind or ideas around this, please get a hold of us. If you need resources, one of the things we do is connect you with other people like Zach and Faith in Place, like Colby May at Energy for Purpose. Hey, we don't know where to start. What are some great resources to get us started? Do you know books? Do you know articles? Do you know podcasts? Do you know websites? So get a hold of us and we can help with those kind of resourcing. And the education events is something that we also do. If you want to do some exploring yourself, we have something called the crg.org, Congregational Resource Guide. So it's thecrg.org. If you jump on there, it's a search engine. but everything in our database is congregational related. So if you go in there and you type in creation care, the things that are going to come up have to do with creation care and congregational life. So you don't have to wade through all the stuff like you would on Google. I think there's about 2,000 resources on there right now, and it's something that we're continuously updating. So thecrg.org, get in there and check it out. So if you don't have any other question, oh, thanks, Shani, for dropping that in there. I can't talk to you and type at the same time because what I'm saying would be what was in the chat, and that's not going to be helpful to you. So if you don't have any other questions for Zach or questions for me, thank you so much for being here today. Get a hold of us if you have a project you want to do, you need some resources. We are here to help. So thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that the rest of your day is really great. See ya, everybody.